Grandpa's going to tell us a story about when he used to run.
The story is mostly about the Spring Valley Invitational. Every year, star runners from New Jersey and New York would run this race, teams. They had about probably 40 or 50 schools that ran the race.
Okay.
That year, I was running against the number 1 and number 2 runners on the East Coast. And plus a whole bunch of other star schools.
Yeah.
And I'd run the race the year before, and the state champion had set the course record. I had no idea how I was going to do in the race, but there was this one kid who I thought was supposed to be the number 1 guy in the East.
Okay.
So I got out in the race, and I followed this guy who was in first place. And I stayed right behind him all through the first quarter of the race. And I'm going, but I thought the other kid was number 1 in the East.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, where is he? Where is that guy? And I didn't see him, so I just kept following this guy who was in front of me.
Yeah.
And we went, and I was still in second place. And then I hung on with him until about a quarter mile to go, and then he pulled away from me. And then this other guy, who I thought was the best guy in the East, he passed me with like 50 yards to go before the finish.
Oh my gosh.
But my time broke the course record, which was set by a state champion.
Oh wow.
And it turned out the guys, two guys that did beat me, were the number 1 and number 2 guys in the East. But I had them reversed.
Oh, okay.
It was, in fact, the guy who won the race actually went on to be national champion.
Oh, wow.
In 2 mile. Yeah. In fact, he held the national record at the time for the 2 mile.
Now, were your cross-country races, were they like the 2.5
Yeah, they were
miles?
2.5 miles.
2.5 miles.
I didn't run 3 miles. But it was a beautiful day, and my family came to watch. And that was the other thing. The Invitational was a school near us, so it was a local race.
So was it like at Bear Mountain? Because didn't you run your
No,
races
this was
at Bear Mountain?
at their high school.
Okay, so they didn't have their races at Bear Mountain
yeah.
too.
In fact, it favored me because I was better on flatter courses.
Oh.
This was a flatter course.
Okay.
And so, but I just hung on, and, it was like, it was the best, showing by a local runner.
Yeah. Well, yeah, get third behind the number 1 and 2 in the East.
On the East Coast. And then whenever I ran against those 2 guys again, they'd always come up and talk to me.
Yeah. I was trying to picture Bear Mountain because I was trying to write something about Bear Mountain because I've been there, and so, but it's been 10 years since I've been there, so. But I was trying to picture like how you guys ran your races there.
Well, what was so great there was
to go up the big hill.
Yeah, it had a huge hill.
Yeah, so you did run up that.
I actually ran up a ski lift, a ski jump.
That's where you ran.
Yeah.
You ran up.
Yeah, it was. But the great part, it was Bear Mountain was historically famous. They had for the Revolutionary War.
Okay.
It was and had what's called Hoeschen Lake, named after the Hessian soldiers. But you ran around the whole lake, which was probably around the lake was probably a mile. So it was really, really nice.
Yeah.
We got to see
the whole race.
Yeah, got to watch the race
without having to move. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a lot of big hills and ups and downs around as you ran around the lake. And the setting was absolutely unbelievable setting. It was the autumn, and the colors of the trees, the lake. Bear Mountain Lodge was built in the old log cabin building type thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but now I remember that you say that. Yeah.
There was picnic areas. It was really a large. It was for picnic areas. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Do you have a race that you ran there that you remember?
Yeah. It was a sectional race, and the section was. I got in the race. It was on, I think it was on Halloween night, and we got out there. But it got dark early. And the race started 4:45 at night, or just when it was just getting dark. In fact, when we finished the race, it actually was dark. But I started out, and this guy I was running against was a great runner, and he had this white uniform.
Okay.
And it was totally white. As I ran behind him, it was like running behind a ghost. And,
on Halloween.
Yeah. And at the time, I didn't know who the best runners were. That's all I knew was the step. And I stayed behind this guy. I stayed behind him, and I ran my best time ever on the Bear Mountain course that day. I ended up taking second, but I did have an outstanding time. But I just remember following that guy, and it was like. It was like following a ghost.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
It was dark, and it was...
So I figure we'll go eat first, and then, because the Mexican restaurant...
Yeah, but this time...
Well, because the ice cream place is right by that place.
What's great about going now is that most places don't... Also when I ran that race, 3/4 through the race, this other guy who was my nemesis in a lot of races.
Yeah.
Well, he passed me, right?
Yeah.
Going up the hill, going up the mountain, and then we went back downhill, and I flew past him, going down the hill. So like a 10-yard lead, and I came back past him, and then went up the hill, and he passed me, and then the last 100 yards I sprinted in and passed him, and I beat him by 5 yards.
Very nice.
But I'm going to write a story about my niece.
Jessica, the runner?
For 30 years, I hadn't been a Hampson that ran, that dominated running in Rockland County. And Jessica came from